Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us here today. We have a very special guest, Mr. Alberto Pelliccione. He is the CEO and the co-founder for cybersecurity company ReaQta. Today he will share with us a little bit about how he started the company and also his views about the Asia-Pacific cybersecurity landscape. So Alberto, thank you for joining us.
Hello, Sheila. Thank you very much for inviting me.
I understand you have a very interesting background. You used to be an AI researcher. You also have done some malware reverse engineer, as well as work in the intelligence. What makes you start a company? Because what you were doing sounds a lot more exciting.
No, it was indeed, but the decided to start a company was always with me. So I had this wish to one day run my own company since I was a kid, and I spent quite a lot of time in a private company doing running intelligence, and so actually 7 years, and this gave me a lot of exposure into also the business side of things, not just the practical side of creating tools and running operations. And so after I acquired that experience, I decided it was the time for me to make the jump and run my own enterprise and start my own company, and that's what I ended up doing in the end.
I also find ReaQta quite an interesting name. Can you tell us what does it mean?
Yeah, well, ReaQta is a Latin word that means to react. And we just switched the C with the Q because the Q happens to be our lucky charm for me and the other founders. And so we came up with the idea of ReaQta, which also symbolizes in a way the fast reaction time that you need to have when an attacker steps inside an infrastructure. So it also gives this idea of a real-time response, real-time identification, and something that's blazing fast. And so we basically came up with this word, and it's something like a very nice name, and we kept it.
Yeah, it's a catchy one.
No, thank you very much. It's a memorable one, I think, because it gets very hard to pronounce, but then when you learn it, you will never forget it.
And what's your vision for ReaQta? How do you see the companies and the product roadmap in the next 12 to 18 months?
We will keep expanding ReaQta Hive features, so to support additional operating systems, to add new features on the other operating systems, and to make sure that we have feature parity among architectures. But obviously we are quickly going and moving into the XDR space. So where we see ReaQta playing is into the open XDR type of market, where we will be able to correlate data coming from different sources, not just our endpoint sensors, to provide additional incident detection response capabilities to the larger enterprise. So that's the direction that we're taking. And of course, we'll be enhancing and adding additional intelligence engine so that we can leverage on this additional source of data that are not just endpoints, but they might be cloud environments, they might be different type of appliances, so that everything is collected within one place where we can act and react to attacks.